How's it going, everybody? I'm here in the snake shed, and I thought I would do a little video for you. I am about to put together my new ARS Easy Rack. So I did a hybrid combination of the Easy 130 and 1078, so I can have two different size tubs in one rack. Justin and Brian at ARS were great helping me figure that out and making sure I got what I needed. So we've kind of already gotten started. My wife, as awesome as she is, I was traveling a lot last week, and she came in and started on some of the work. So some of it's already done, but I thought I'd walk you through it kind of like I did with my rat rack video earlier and just show you a little bit of what it is. I'm going to turn the camera around. So please forgive the mess. I'm going to try not to pan around too much, but I've been moving stuff all over just to make space to kind of put things together here. So here's all the trays that will hold the two size tubs. This is the base. I've got random tubs and pieces assembled over here. I got the first level together just to practice. So ARS is great. They're going to give you this big, huge box and everything is in it. This rack is definitely easier than my other racks. These are all hybrid racks. I love ARS racks. It's what I use for my snakes. Eventually, I'll get away from the PVC completely, most likely. I might use those for quarantine, but then I'll just have ARS racks if I can help it. So to start off with, ARS gives you this nifty little QR code you can scan and get the instructions, which is great. I pulled them up on my iPad, and I've got great detailed color instructions that take you step by step. It's very, very handy. Props to those guys for making it so easy. But you're going to start with your base frame. So essentially, you're going to get these 4 tubes, and your plates, casters, they'll all be separate. You connect the tubing with these plastic connectors. Screw the plates in place, and then bolt your casters onto it, and that'll be the base frame that you'll build everything onto. Once that's together, you start assembling your actual pieces. And I've got, as you saw in the corner back there, my wife, she's awesome. She put all those together while I was traveling for work all week last week. And you just get these connector pieces. They're plastic pieces that'll go in each end, and you have an up and a down. So this will connect to the base, and then the next level, well, this will connect to the base, and the next level connects on top of that. And then you add your heat tape or your heat panels, and then just build your levels all the way up, and then you'll have a flat piece that goes on top for the top level. So I'm going to try and zoom out here and show you how to assemble one of these. So this is what I was talking to. This is the top level where the base will be flat, so you don't have it sticking up in the air when you're all done. Although you can add levels to it if you got the height. I don't know if you can see this. I'll back up. This is a heat panel. So this is going to go right across here. Once everything's together, you space it 2 inches from the corner and goes across here. Plug into your power strip, which is provided. Nice big power strip. This goes into the power strip, and then into the power strip plugs into your thermostat. Or some people prefer to actually do multiple thermostats with zones and plug each level of heat into it. You can do that as well. I prefer just to monitor the temperature of each level. But if you ever order one of these racks, you're going to see an option for an E upgrade. When I got my first rack, I wasn't sure what that meant, so I asked them. But that means they're going to insulate the bottom of your heat panel. So you've got the heat tape or heat element underneath here. They're going to insulate it so you lose as little heat as possible through the bottom, because the purpose of this is to heat the bottom of the tubs that are going to sit on top of this. So I highly recommend the E upgrade, particularly if you're not going to be in a really well climate controlled room. Now I've got a good climate control system that keeps this room at 80 all the time. That's why you'll probably see me sweating while I'm doing this. But that's just the way it goes. So once you get your first level assembled, we'll set out the base here. And this will take some maneuvering as I go. Poor Shamgar's wondering what's going on over here. It's my pet Burmese python. We don't breed him, we just keep him because he's awesome, and I always wanted him. Hopefully this isn't too loud. I know it's going to be at points. And if I have to use the mallet, which I will here in a second, I'm going to actually just pause it so you don't have to listen to that. So we'll hammer those into place. I don't know. Probably couldn't see anything I was doing. So I'm great with the camera. So before you use your mallet, you'll want to get a piece of scrap wood that you can just put down on top, so that way you're hitting the wood, you're not damaging the metal, you're not busting up your mallet. But I'm going to get these tight and then I'll come right back. All right, so there we go. That was only maybe 2 minutes to get our plastic connectors with the metal pipes nice and tight. Went ahead and put the level on and got it going. So now let's look at assembling one of the frame levels. I'm going to try and set you up over here. I'm going to do my best. This cart rolls around, but it helps me get it up off the floor, which is better for my back. All right, so this is going to be my back piece. You'll notice on here there's going to be a series of holes that are pre-drilled. Make sure that I'm where you can see me. So, series of holes that are pre-drilled. And you'll have this little hole in the corner. They say in the instructions it's not used as part of the process. But you'll have three, well actually this one is, it's a bigger one, it's on the other end, sorry. You'll have three holes in like kind of close together. Those go on the bottom, so those face down, and then you'll have like individual holes along it. Those face up. Those are the ones we're going to be screwing our ventilation and tub trays into. And one really cool thing about this newer hybrid rack is that all this comes together in one piece. So these other hybrid racks that I've done in the past, you actually have to screw every channel piece in. But this one you just have a tray. So this is the Easy 130 tray. So if you got just a straight standard rack, it would have 13 levels of this. And each of these, you get 2 across each level, so you get a total of 10 hatchling tubs. So obviously you want to make sure that the open part where the tubs slide in are facing the front, and it's closed along the back. So you'll have 2 side by side that sit in here like this. And they use these tubs here. ARS recommends they're good for hatchlings up to about 500 grams. So pretty nice, longer, good and deep. I'm really excited about the water cup because I use PVC couplers and they always knock them over or fill them with cocoa. So I'm hoping that this is going to avoid that and make it better. Now this part can be a little tricky because I'm trying to get this thing propped up here, but it sits lower than the tray. So I've got to kind of adjust that as I go. I've got screws in my pocket. So each one of these trays is going to get a total of 5 screws. So there's 4 along the back, all but the middle tray, and there's 1 on the side that attaches it to the side of the frame. So I'm just going to try and line it up if I can and get it started. Nice and slow, and then it'll catch. These are self-tapping screws, so they'll catch a little bit and they'll dig in. But make sure if you're using a drill, of course, you don't have it on a drill setting, because you don't want to strip out your screws. Just get it started, and once I get them all started, lined up right, then I'll go back and tighten them all once they're in place, and we'll move to the next one. Alright. Isn't this exciting? I bet you woke up this morning thinking, man, I want to watch an overweight old dude drill some plastic into some metal pipes. I'm hoping that this is helpful for somebody out there. This is a little tricky once you get to the edge piece. That one was easy. That was perfect. So on the first one, I tested the setting to make sure I didn't have too much pressure. My drill goes up to like 23, and I found 14 is about the right setting to screw it in tight without stripping anything. So there we go. That's one piece connected, and man, that's so much simpler, so much easier than the old way. Having to do it channel by channel. So definite props to the guys at ARS for making it easier. So we're all about easier, especially when it's 80 degrees in this room. So 5 screws. Let's do it again. I'm not going to sit here and record all 13 levels of this, so you can rejoice, and not that you couldn't just fast forward it if you wanted to, but like I said, hopefully this is a helpful process to you just to see it. I really benefit from seeing things done, and so I thought while I'm doing it, ooh, self-tapper working there. I thought while I'm doing it, I might as well just put a quick video together. Hopefully it's quick. I usually end up talking too much. Ouch. Come on. Well, can't get this one to line up. Let's tighten this. Oh, I cut myself. Good. What's a project if you don't cut yourself at least once? Let's get that tighter to the side, and maybe now we can find that hole a little easier. Oh, well, I won't be able to find it. That makes me feel better about cutting myself. There's no hole there. So apparently this one, the machining process missed the hole. So, yeah, there's no hole on that one. I think it was just installed on the wrong side. So I got to figure out how to get that off because the holes are on the bottom. So this is a good learning lesson. Make sure that when you're putting your channel pieces together, that the holes are facing inside. Like I said, my wife was trying to help out. She probably just missed that one, but obviously saved me a lot of time. So I'm going to pause it here while I try to get that off because it's pretty stuck, and see if I can rotate it, and then we'll get that level finished. All right, let's come back here. Sorry about that little. So that was not planned, but probably is pretty good for y'all to see me fail. Cut myself because I was trying to push a screw through a hole that didn't exist. But no biggie. The bleeding is stopped. And the screw is in place. If I play my cards right, I can get extra sympathy from my wife tonight. I might get away with some stuff. That's a joke. Sort of. It's not totally a joke, sort of a joke. If I tell her that it was sideways, she'll feel really bad about it. But I did check all the other frame pieces, and none of them, they're all right. So that was the only piece that was set up wrong. So it's kind of funny that's the one that I somehow chose to use as an example for building the level. But again, good reminder, make sure you got your holes lined up the right way. All right, so now the front brace, same thing. We're just going to line it up, make sure the holes are in, and try and get it together. Whew, this one's tight. You can use a mallet to get it in place if you need to, but usually if you just press into the hip, use your body, it should work. There we go. Now I got them. And same thing, 4 screws for each section, so 8 screws total. I'm just carrying a bunch of them in my pocket. You will with this, if you're working on a flat surface, you're going to have to kind of flex the plastic into place, because you can see how much it's got some give to it. But hopefully you've got a drill with a magnetic tip that'll hold that screw. Just kind of grow slow. Come on. Where's my hole? Well, might have to get my light out here. Can't find it. Actually, this might be the corner where it screws into the... Oop. It actually screws into the corner piece here in the corners. So, a little more pressure. We got that. Slow it first until you find, well, that's a different screw. Must have had one in there that didn't belong by mistake. Line them up. And we're good to go. And then we tighten them up. It's really not that bad. Hopefully my drill's not too loud in the mic. So there we go. Level complete. Now all we have to do is stack it and then add the heat tape or the heat panel. We'll do that all at the end. And that's another one done. So again, you'll look and see your opening channels face the front. Make sure, as obvious it seems, you start working on this, you could kind of, if you're not paying attention or you're tired and hot, you might flip it around backwards because they're the same dimensions. Just make sure that your tubs line up. And usually with these panels, try and bring it a little closer. Because you have smooth corners, you can just kind of put your weight down on each corner and slide them into place. And you don't even need to use the hammer on that step. That one's going to need it. right. But that's it for the level. So you get to do that about 13 times. Get them in place. Obviously, it's not the weekend. It's a weeknight. It's almost 8 o'clock, so I'm not going to get this finished tonight. But we'll get all those together. The other braces are on the bottom, but I will show you. Let me set you right here and show you the two different tubs. So here are the two tub sizes that I've got, just so you can compare. So you can see this one's not quite double the width, but almost. So the way I configured it, they've got those channel trays where they fit 5 of these in each, or 10 across the whole level, or they also have them where you can get in this, where it's 3 across or 6 per level. So the way I ordered mine, I've got 10 rows of this and 3 rows of this, so I'll end up with 18 of these tubs, which are great size to take my hatchlings once they get to about 450, 500 grams or so, and they're just too big for these. I can easily move them over here and keep them here till they grow and are ready for the 55-40 rack. If they're females and they get really big, then I can shift them down to the 70-30. Each one's a little bit bigger. So I'm really excited about this. We've already got one rack, well, it's 2 racks stacked on top of each other of hatchlings filled up this year. And we're working on the 3rd rack, and I've got plenty of eggs in the incubator. I've got, I think, 1 more clutch coming this season. So we'll come close to filling this rack up once it's done, unless some of y'all want to buy some snakes, help free up some space. Feel free to let me know if you do. But yeah, that's it. I'll put the rest of this together, and then I'm going to try and pick this back up once I'm doing the heat tape and or heat panels. I don't know why I keep saying heat tape, and the power strip. And we'll just show you the end of it, and hopefully you've enjoyed. And if you decide to get one of these racks, which I highly recommend, no hesitation to recommend these or the guys at ARS. They are awesome. If you get one of these, hopefully this will help you understand the process a little bit better. All right, so I thought I'd come back here and add in, after I've done a bunch of these levels and I've got it almost together, I found a much faster way to do it. So I thought I'd come back and show that. Originally I was trying to do it on my cart to kind of save my back, but I found that if you put it on the floor like this and just kind of straddle, you can actually do it a lot more efficiently. I can use my feet to brace and then get the hole lined up and the tray positioned. Get that corner started. We'll hop back to this corner, and by doing this over the top and bracing it with my feet, I end up with a free hand that I can use to adjust the plastic tray to the position I need it to line the hole up. And I'm able to do this with without much pressure on the back. So I always do all 4, get them started, and then tighten them up. That way you can make sure that the tray will flex as you need it to. But then I've got all 4 in, and then same thing, I can come and line this side up. Right in, and I've got a tray attached. I've got my handy dandy little light here that I can move with me. Grab the next piece, make sure and line it up correctly. Got my screws in my pocket, and I'm right back here ready to go. So this is a lot easier with 2 people than 1, but I found out that by doing it this way, I've got my other hand free, which allows me to do this much faster. So I just thought I would share it with you. I can use this hand to push from the back to line the holes up, because sometimes they're a little off. But once I've got it started, once you've got 3, The fourth hole usually is lined up pretty good, but you can use your free hand to either push on it if you need a little push, or curl your thumb inside one of the channel brackets on the bottom if you need to actually pull it a little bit. And there we go. I'm now connecting the last screw. Bingo. So that was a lot faster. Grab the top piece. Make sure it lines up correctly with the holes on top. Get it in place. Flip it around and repeat the process to screw in these last holes on the front piece and then stack it on top. It's really that simple. It's quick. A lot quicker this way. I can do a whole section start to finish in less than 10 minutes doing it this way. So much better than trying to use the cart. So here, I've got to kind of brace and push it a little bit, but I got the free hand to do it. Tighten up the pieces, or the screws. And there we go. 4 more screws and I'm done with this level and it's ready to stick on top. Really helps if you have a magnetized screwdriver tip on your drill. Last one. I know that was thrilling, but there we go. We're done. That whole section complete in what? Less than 5 minutes. So hope this is helpful improvement. Just learning as I go. And as you can see, we're almost done. I've got 2 more levels and then the rack will be finished. All right, folks, so there's just 2 more steps and then we'll be completely done with assembling the rack. Be ready to plug in the thermostat and start testing the heat panels. Obviously, we always want to test them and run. I'll run a couple days of tests, at least 1 or 2 days of tests on the temperature before I actually put any animals in it. But this is your heat panel. There is a piece of Velcro that comes off here, so you can attach this 2 ways. I already attached the first one. You can either slide the whole panel in there, gently remove the backing and press it down as a single unit, or you could do it with just a piece of Velcro here. So what you want to do is you want to measure about 2 inches. So very informal, I'm just using my finger. Roughly 2 inches from the back. Get that on there nice and tight. We'll flip it over. Do the same on the other side. Not sure if y'all can see me, but same thing. Very exciting that we did on the other side. Roughly 2 inches. Center it on the post and tighten it down there. Now once you got it there, you can just kind of feed this through. Make sure that you've got all your cords facing the same side. And line it up. Velcro attaches. This one's off just a little bit. Tighten it down, and that's how it attaches. That's it. Then you got your plug. Now what I do, I number all my plugs so that you know, you're not always using every single level. So when you have a rack like this, you want to fill it up across one level, not vertically, but horizontally, so that you can have if you don't have the rack full, that way you don't have to use all the heat tape and use that extra electricity. So I like to number the plugs by level from top to bottom. So I'll have 1 and 2 here, and then that way I'll know which level I'm using is the one I got to plug in. And I'll take you here. This is the power strip that came with it. And I do the same thing here. Like, I just number beside the plugs so that I've got an assigned plug for each one. Just makes it faster in the moment if I need to plug something in. There's a few extra, so I'll skip every now and then and just have them numbered out. And this will attach with these zip ties. We won't do that until the end when we've got all the heat panels in, but that's how you attach the heat panel. Get it up out of your way and work your way down. And there she is, folks, the finished product. 118 tubs to hold hatchlings and holdbacks before they transition up to the 5540. And it was quite an endeavor to put it together, but to be honest, considering the value here, this was a lot simpler with this design than the other traditional hybrid racks, I think. Once I figured out the technique to make it go quickly, I really started flying through it, and I got everything there. 13 levels, 2 different size tubs, 100 hatchlings, 18 grow outs, and man, it looks nice. All that's left to do is hook the thermostat up and to add the sticker, make it official. I don't know how many of you have stuck with me to the end. I know this is a long video as I'm figuring things out, putting it together. But if you're still watching, I certainly appreciate it. I would highly recommend ARS racks. That's what I've got for all my snakes, with the exception of these hatchling racks, which I'll probably keep one of them for quarantine, maybe keep one for leftovers, and I'll sell the rest to help offset some of the cost. But nothing beats ARS racks in my experience and opinion. They're the best. So if you're going to have a large collection, or if you're going to consider breeding, or if you're already breeding but you're just getting started, or you're a small operation and growing, can't recommend ARS enough. Not only is the product great, but the people that run the company are great, and they will bend over backwards to help you out. So this is the rack. We're gonna get the thermostat set up here. That's what it looks like. Let's see what it looks like with the baby in it. Let's get one of our grow outs that's about to, she's outgrown her tub. We're just gonna set her in there for perspective. How about that? So we'll put an 8-ounce deli cup here. I haven't tried it yet, but that's what we'll use. And you can see she'll have a lot more space. It's still kind of tight, but this will definitely give her enough space until she's ready for the 5540. And yeah, who doesn't love a good pied? Thanks again for watching. If you made it all the way through the video to the end, thank you so much. Comment and let me know you made it to the end, and you'll get like super cool points. Thanks again, guys. Everybody have a wonderful evening.